What is hatching, Toga Peeps? OldManTup coming at you today with our Week 9 matchup at NPA Season 4 versus Kelly, aka UnderTheRadar, and the Maryland Torterrapins. So if you're excited about this match, give us a big thumbs up, and we'll see who comes out the victor. We see this matchup, and he didn't bring quite a few things that we thought he would, namely Stack Attacka. But based off what he brought, we have the Zapdos, which is a pretty good lead. And I see this thing and I'm like, okay, what's he gonna do? And I U-turn out here, and I'm just gonna go into my physically defensive wall, which is the Aromatisse. And I'm like, okay, not too bad of a startup. And then I see Flare Blitz. I was expecting a U-turn. He does not go for that. He goes for the Flare Blitz, and that does way too much damage, which tells me that he is adamant and choice banned, but it also leaves me in a position where I have nothing that can switch into this and take 2 hits. Nothing. So I get a little cheeky, go for the Protect just to get a little bit more HP back, and hope that it racks up more damage on him accumulatively. And that was the only reason I protected there, was to get the extra turn of leftovers, which would give him a little bit more recoil. But this allows us to go into Glorious, which will outspeed him because we know he's adamant, and Choice Band now. So we are just going to Mega Up and U-turn, predicting that he would probably go into a physical wall, either being Landorus Therian or the Vaporeon, depending on how bulky and what it was. But yeah, really thought General would be coming out here. So we do just go for the U-turn. We check to see whether or not we get any recoil damage. We do not, so he uses Rocky Helmet, which still leaves the door open to Scarf and or another Banded Mon. We don't see leftovers, so we know he's not leftovers. We didn't get a good enough roll there with the damage to know exactly what his defensive investment was. We're going to go for the HP here, which was supposed to be HP Ice for another week in a row, and it turns out to be Hidden Power Dark. I really need to start checking that before I start my matches. We saw that it wasn't not very effective. It should have been, but it was not, so that's no bueno. We're going to go out into Flubber here, because it's the only thing I want to take a Scald and possibly get burned, because burn is better than Toxic in this situation. And I'm sure he's going to have that later on. So we're going to get some leftovers back here. He could just stay in and Scald again, but he is going to switch out and go into his Celebi. Yeah, I don't know. And we're just going to switch out here, getting that wonderful Regenerator back, and we're going to go right out into Big Burb. And this is a pretty decent situation for us because we can just U-turn. It's 4 times effective. Even though we aren't invested, it does about 30%, which is awesome. But this is going to allow him to, I believe, set up his rocks here, which is what he's going to do. Exactly. So Celebi comes out, set up its rocks, which is a little bit annoying because we don't have the way to remove them or set them up ourselves. He is going to mix a Toxic here, which doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things, and I'll explain to you why later in the matchup. But we are Toxic free here. He's going to bring out Polymac, and we are just going to have to hard switch out and let something either eat a U-turn to the face or a Flare Blitz. We're going to go out to Yermangarda here because it is vastly losing its importance in the match, considering it is the special side. Had we had the DD set versus this specific team matchup, it would have been fantastic for us, but it's not what we brought. He's going to bring Jolt out here, and he's going to go for the Hidden Power Ice. And that will take us out. I didn't want to get cheeky and switch in anything here and him just have a massive prediction. I'm really on the back foot right now. So, seeing that he's in here, he's going to have to switch out because he doesn't want to take anything serious. He's going to go into the General here. And we are going to see that coming a mile away. But again, there's nothing really that we can do about it. We are going to go for the Poison Jab here, because it does a little bit more damage than U-turn. It has that 30% chance to poison. We are going to get the lucky poison here, which is awesome. It means this thing is slowly going to be whittled down here. Now, instead of playing smart, like I talked about in the team builder, and going for the protect here like I should have, to see if he was just going to come in and, you know, just straight up attack us with something, we don't. And we clicked U-turn, and nothing but regret. But we do know for 100% fact that he is Scarf now. That allows us to bring in our Lucario, set up an agility. Now, bear in mind that I believe I said this in the team builder, we cannot one-shot a Thunderous. So that's something we have to keep in the back of our head. We do have Aura Sphere with the Expert Belt, which does let me think that we should be able to kill this thing in one shot. And we do, no crit needed there. Lucario racks up a kill. Now, he knows now that he can bring in Jolt and take one Hidden Power Ice, living it very comfortably, and be able to take us out with a Thunderbolt, which is Sad Face. This was just a knockdown, drag him out brawl. No defensive stalling here. Okay, we're going to bring Big Bird back out here. And here is where having Hidden Power Ice would have really come in handy. We can live a Thunder, and a Hidden Power Ice here, which would have been super effective, would have taken this out, giving us the ability to keep Big Burb in our back pocket should we have needed it at this point, which we very well might have. But unfortunately, that is not the case. Big Burb is going to go down, and all we have left is our Flubber. Now, we do not have the Recover, but we can set up the Trick Room here, which is exactly what we are going to do. He's going to go for Thunder, and he's going to rack a Paralysis right there. Now, that stinks really bad, because it's going to pretty much seal the deal at this point in the match. Not that it mattered entirely. We'll explain that after we see what goes on here. We are going to get the Psychic off, which is going to be more than enough to take that out. He's going to bring in his Polymac here, which is his, guy. Now, we do have the Focus Blast, so we don't get our 80% chance to knock this thing out. We are paralyzed, and he has Darkest Lariat, which is one of the best moves in the game, because I love it. So we do lose to Kelly, and I honestly forget what the actual score was in that match. It was a 3-0. Had we not been paralyzed there and we landed our Focus Blast, it would have just changed the differential. But the paralysis hitting there, more or less just covered for the fact that we would have been possibly toxic and whittled down eventually. Kelly and I talked after the matchup and shared some sets. His Vaporeon very easily could have 1v1'd. Even if I didn't get paralyzed at all, the Flubber, unless I got insanely lucky with Psychic special defense drops, because it was mostly physically defensive. But I couldn't comfortably two-shot him, so that would have made it difficult without a special defense drop to two-shot him, because he had Wish and Protect, if I'm not mistaken. So, good game, Kelly. Go check him out if you haven't already. I'm sure you have. He is a very, very good League player, and if you know about me, I'm sure you know about him. But anyways, guys, this has been OldManTup, and I will catch you on the flip side. Peace.